Hey there everyone, Red Mage 24 here with special guest King Slender from the classic NES game Pro Wrestling. I thought I'd do something a little different with my latest video and take the time to talk about my thoughts of professional wrestling while my pal King Slender here engages in some professional wrestling. Sit back, relax, enjoy. First off, I thought I'd take a moment to tell everyone about myself as a wrestling fan. I've been watching wrestling shows since I was about 6 years old. The first wrestlers I really remember identifying with were the Killer Bees, tag team. I've been a smart fan for about 10 years now. Some of my favorite wrestlers include Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Roddy Piper, Dean Malenko, Mick Foley, and The Undertaker. Yeah, I know, everyone loves Taker. He's impossible to hate. Okay, some of my favorite matches of all time one of them would be Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior. WrestleMania, I believe it was 6. I could be wrong. Loved that match. It was just, I was only a little kid at the time, but it was just the two top baby faces in the company going head to head against each other. It's something they'd never done before. It was very unique for the time period. Very interesting. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania 10 was another one of my favorite matches. It was just technically a very good match. Had good psychology, a lot of reversals and everything like that. Nothing short of excellence to be expected from the excellence of execution Bret Hart and his younger brother Owen, who was, in my opinion, just as good, if not better, than Bret. Also, my favorite match of all time, Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 3. Technical masterpiece. One of the greatest match of my favorite match of all time. One of the greatest matches of all time, in my opinion. If you haven't seen that one, I'd suggest checking it out. Now, I watched a lot of wrestling during the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars, but I never really got into the Attitude Era of the WWF. I was more into WCW at the time. I liked the wrestling and the fact that they kept their storylines a little bit cleaner. I did watch them both, though, as well as ECW on Sundays. About that time when I was watching, good time to be a wrestling fan. I don't really watch wrestling anymore. About the time when all that died around the end of the Monday Night Wars was when I stopped, which was about the year 2000. Trying to get back into wrestling nowadays has been it's been difficult for me. I still love wrestling, don't get me wrong, but I find myself really turned off by the WWE these days. It seems to be a common thing among many of us older fans, those of us guys who are in our mid to late 20s, who are around for things like the Hulkamania era, see the NWO, the Attitude Era, the Montreal Screwjob, watch the Monday Night Wars. Which brings me to the first topic I wanted to discuss, complete with a little story here just to bring you up to speed. One of my good friends, who shall remain nameless, him and I were discussing something the other night. He's been telling me for a long time how Raw, SmackDown, ECW have all been pretty much unwatchable. We're about the same age. I think I'm just a little bit older than him. We're both long-time wrestling fans. I don't watch the shows, but when he tells me about them, I think about these things, these storylines, and what's going on. It makes my head hurt. I mean, honestly, it feels like it's going to explode or something, my head's just going to go boom. I can't believe what I'm hearing most of the time. I'm going to spare you guys the details, but most of it sounds really stupid to me when I listen to it. Like, how could anyone like this crap? Kind of stupid. Well, my buddy was telling me about this storyline where Vicky Guerrero was supposedly pregnant or something like that. And, at that point, I don't know what happened, but something just clicked in my head. Something dawned on me. I think I know what the problem with the WWE is. It's not necessarily the product. I think it's us, Now, what do you mean? No, people are saying, yeah, what do you mean there? Well, what I mean is, I think my friend and I, some of us older fans, we've just outgrown the WWE. We're not part of their target demographic anymore. So we're not the same people we were 10 years ago during the Attitude Era. We've grown, we've changed, we've matured. Our tastes are a little bit different now. And, like I said, the WWE has probably kept the same target audience, but we're just not part of that demographic anymore, so the stuff that they're putting out isn't necessarily going to appeal to us. Just a little food for thought there. Okay, now, next subject. My two major problems with WWE programming as a whole, and this can apply to any promotion. Okay, these things have bothered me for a really long time, ever since I really noticed them about 10 years back. And they both kind of coincided with each other. First thing is that I have, is destroying the suspension of disbelief. Vince McMahon has said in the past that suspension of disbelief is one of the crucial factors to a good wrestling product and fan enjoyment. I believe him. When the suspension of disbelief isn't there, enjoyment of the product really lessens. You want an example? Well, I really enjoyed the TNA Genesis pay-per-view when I saw it earlier this year. I've been watching clips of TNA stuff on my phone and caught on to the storyline with the referee Shane Sewell and Sheik Abdul-Bashir. I really got into it and really believed that Shane Sewell was this wrestler who had been injured and was working as a referee to put food on his table for his family and everything like that. And Bashir was just provoking him, trying to get Jim Cornette to fire him. Their match at Genesis was great because of all the build-up to it and the satisfaction of getting to see Shane Sewell, this underdog, this guy had been getting manipulated and bullied and provoked, finally get some payback on Bashir. And when the referees came out to celebrate with him and everything, it was great. It was really easy to believe, really easy to swallow because of how it was handled and how it was delivered to the audience. Now, by contrast, just hearing about some of these WWE storylines, I'm not watching them. I mean, I'm just hearing them and envisioning them in my head. I find them a little hard to swallow. I mean, just some of what I've heard. Also, it's kind of hard to believe that guys like with a moveset that consists of something like a shoulder block, step over toe hold face lock, spin out powerbomb, fireman's carry takedown, and a fist drop with theatrics can win matches in this day and age, let alone hold on to world titles. That just makes it really hard to buy into. The other problem I've had with how the WWE specifically does things, is that the whole thing I like to call the invisible cameraman. You know what I'm talking about? Some backstage skit being acted out, or people discussing plans, or whatever, and they don't even acknowledge that the cameraman's there. I mean, it's like I said, it's like he's invisible. That instantly destroys suspension of disbelief. How could the babyface wrestler not know that the heel wrestlers are going to jump him when their secret plans are being filmed and broadcast over the Jumbotron for the whole frickin' world to see? I mean, you'd think they just watch the camera the whole time or watch the screen just to make sure they're not going to get jumped. Again, this is where TNA excels at. The wrestlers are almost always aware of the cameraman's presence. When something's going on backstage, there's usually one of the backstage interviewers there who would naturally have a cameraman with him. Or the wrestler is directly talking to the camera because he's, cutting a promo or something like that. Or the situation is going on someplace where you'd expect to see a cameraman. Just my thoughts there. Now, in closing, I'm not saying either promotion is better. I'm just sharing my thoughts here. If you like WWE or TNA or Ring of Honor or New Japan Pro Wrestling or whatever, more power to you, dude. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I'm going to turn things over to King Slender now and put on some music for him to kick ass to. Thanks for watching.